Welcome back into Morning Dose, everybody. By now, we have likely all heard about the keto diet, but this morning, we're starting to see some people raising questions and concerns about its effectiveness and, the safety, too.
Yeah, so the question is, does it really work, or is this just a fad? Well, the answer depends. To get everyone up to speed, the keto diet is when you change what you eat so your body burns fat instead of carbs. But what most people don't know is there are more than one kind of keto diets out there, and many people aren't following the right one. Now, when you hear about the keto diet, we usually hear about it's about lowering carb intake while having more fats and eating very little protein, but that's the wrong version.
We spoke to a doctor who said the wrong version of the keto diet is actually the medical version and not meant for everybody. A nutritionist warned us that the trendy version can turn into what they call lazy keto, a dangerous misinterpretation of the diet that amounts to eating junk food. Dr. Cynthia Stewart told us that trendy version of keto is just another diet fad repackaged to appeal to dieters, and really just another version of the Atkins diet.
When you're looking at a keto diet, you're really removing processed foods from your diet, which is the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. It's not a license to eat bacon and cheese and butter all day long. It's really looking at whole foods, healthy foods, a moderate fat diet from healthy sources, and not just picking, this bulletproof coffee that's out there, which is full of fat, or putting butter in your coffee. Some people would say that that's, controversial to say, but there's a lot of controversy about this diet.
Okay, if you're interested in the keto diet, here's the really important part. The healthy keto diet, Dr. Stewart told us, is actually moderate fat and lower carbs, less processed food, and more whole foods.
Okay, so just to clarify, the one that most people are talking about is the low carb, high fat, but she's saying moderate fat, not high fat. Because most people do low carb on keto, right? And high fat.
Yes.
Right? Am I right?
And also low protein.
Because I think we just said a bunch of stuff, and I was confused.
That was
if you were confused at home, I was confused too. Yeah, Jenny and I were confused. So let's just break this down again. The one that most people do at home is low carb, high fat. The doctor's saying it should be what? Moderate fat. Lower carb. Okay.
And higher protein. And less. What she's saying is,
if you do keto, put it on our Facebook page and tell us what it is. For example,
I think what Dr. Stewart is saying,
okay,
don't go eat pork rinds dipped in butter and say that you're on the keto diet.
No.
She's saying eat like leafy greens.
I have a friend who does it, and she'll get a burger, but she'll have it wrapped in lettuce, right? But she's getting that high protein from the meat, right? But she avoids a little bit of dairy too. So it just depends. I just say be happy.
We just ordered breakfast.
I just ordered some donuts.
Very non-keto. It's going to be delicious.
Here's an important warning sign that the version you're on is just a fad. Does it recommend you buy trendy food exclusively for that diet? Like keto bars or keto coffee? Because that's a sign it could be a fad diet whose authors are more interested in gaining your money than helping you lose weight. Bottom line, just do your research. Talk to your doctor. Something that works for you may not work for me. What I've been doing lately is trying to reduce a lot of dairy, and I've noticed some better results in how I feel because I've reduced dairy. But I've known for a couple of years.
And you may have an intolerance to that.
I've known that for a couple of years that I had an intolerance. I've always felt like bloated and heavy when I'm doing a lot of dairy. And a lot of gluten.
She'll be doing the non-dairy keto with the added order of breakfast on the side.
Yeah, I will be just making up something and telling y'all it's a diet. All right, Shane, what diet are you on?
I'm on the seafood diet.
Oh, you're a pescatarian.
No,
I know, he sees food, he eats it.
Oh, wonderful. That was great.
Laura Bannon joining me here at the Hive. House of Cards is back. We're getting our first teaser from the upcoming season.
And we now know what happens to Kevin Spacey's character, Frank Underwood. If you haven't seen it for yourself, take a look. It's what to watch.
I'll tell you this, though, Francis. When they bury me, it won't be in my backyard. And when they pay their respects, they'll have to wait in line.
Okay, so Frank Underwood is dead. There's a gravestone clearly bearing his name, although at this point, the question remains as to how Frank dies. You'll remember Spacey's character was written off after he was accused of sexual assault.
And our first look at the show without him certainly has the internet buzzing. One person saying, House of Cards without Frank is not House of Cards. The series is over. Anton saying, I don't understand what people were expecting this season in terms of Frank. We've known for how many months that he'd be written out of the show because of this scandal, and people are still upset that they've revealed that he died in the series. And I agree. And people are really underestimating Robin Wright, who plays Claire Underwood on the show. She's an amazing actress.
Incredible.
And I've had the pleasure of speaking with her, and she's told me that they'll put like a page of dialogue for her. She'll boil it down to a look. She's Robin wouldn't say all of this. Or not Robin, but Claire wouldn't say all this. So she just gives like a, and then that person knows it's going to die
cuts right
soon.
through you. You kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I say give Robin Wright a chance. She can hold this show.
Absolutely.
Jenny?
A police officer in Michigan is getting kudos for kindness for really going above and beyond. He noticed an elderly woman in need at a local gas station. She barely had enough cash to get a gallon of fuel. So without making a big deal about it, he went ahead and filled up her tank. That story was posted to social media and has now generated a wave of goodwill in response to this officer's kindness.
I thought, well, that's not going to get you anywhere, really.
Dolores Morata went to a local gas station requesting $3 on pump 3. Officer Todd Bing, a St. Clair Shores police officer, was standing in line behind her.
And I didn't have a lot of money. I had a couple dollars and $1 and change.
Once outside, he offered to pump her gas. She sat inside her car and thought,
It seemed like he was putting in a lot of gas because I only told him $3.
Officer Bing had put in an extra $20. Turns out Dolores has been through a lot, struggling to make ends meet since her husband passed away a few years ago.
I just says God must have sent him there for me, you know.
The owner of the Citgo gas station who rung her up watched this all unfold.
I thought very highly of him. I thought it was a great thing to do.
So he snapped a pic and put it up on Facebook. His post now has thousands of shares and comments with people thanking this police officer not only for his good deed, but for putting his life on the line day in and day out.
That interaction there was kind of just had nothing to do with, for me in the moment, being a police officer. It was just a human thing.
Yeah, it's not just the officer chipping in either. The gas station's owner is now stepping up as well. He actually set up a GoFundMe page for this woman this morning. It's already well past the $5,000 goal. So other people are seeing this story, you know, and they're stepping up as well and being a man or being a woman. You know what I mean? Like in the true sense of that word, being a man or being a woman in your full self and being generous like that.
That's so sweet. You know, you can tell sometimes that somebody else is in need, and sometimes if you have just a little bit more than they have and you can help them, you should. You ever go through the drive-thru and just pay for somebody's order behind you?
Yes, and
I've done that, and it's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me more than I've done it, and I think that's the reward. But I've done that. I've been like, I'll get the car behind me.
Yes.
And you, like, if you're pulling off and you see their excitement, it just makes you feel good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All right, we'll have your local update after the break. Keep it here.